Hello and welcome to Nick V Uncensored. Today we've got Ian Clark and we're going to be talking about advanced glycation, which ages you very, very fast. And the big pharma says that we cannot reverse it. Of course, we live in a control system that revolves around pressure, stress, anxiety, and keeping you away from presence, and also a weaponization with big pharma to age you very quickly and keep us dependent on big pharma and therapies and stuff like that, where we're just making them rich. And this interview is about freedom, is about the truth and becoming sovereign. But just before we begin, I just want to say we're back on YouTube, and I want to say that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We are not financial or health advisors. This is a speculation and sharing opinions and data and research, and we urge you to do your own research. We are not making any claims. But Ian, thank you so much for joining me. How are you, and what have you been up to?
Well, yeah, thank you, Nicholas. It's been a little while since we've been on, and I've been up to a lot in the last month. I've been down in Los Angeles, San Diego, and Nevada attending events, very important health events. And down here, the pollution has just been unbelievable. And it really has affected the way that, everybody has, like people who came down for the health event, a lot of them got congested. I noticed that, just the breathing side of it was bad. It used to be a lot worse before, and then it got better, and then it got worse again. So I'm not really sure what's going on down here in California, but something's up. And
Yeah.
there's some mysterious fogs that show up that people are going, is that mysterious fog down in your area? Well, anyway, so that's what's happening.
Well, I have to say, California is a very democratic state, a very liberal state. And I advocate a gentleman that I interview who's running for California as governor. His name's Lewis Herms, and I believe he's going to do a great job. And yes, I've heard about the fogs and what they're putting in the air and stuff like that. But anyway, so let's move on. Let's talk about the advanced glycation. First of all, what is this?
So advanced glycation end products is really the term is called AGES, AGES, and it is actually what ages the human body. Now, this has been deeply studied, very well known, and not very many people know about it. So when I say it's well known, it's well researched by people at the deeper levels of health. And that information has been suppressed for a bunch of reasons. Because if you are aging rapidly and you're not aware of it, that's where everybody makes money off of you. Because everybody wants the fountain of youth. Nobody wants to get old and tired and worn out and die. Everybody wants to stay youthful as long as they can. But if you don't know what's really happening in the background, when your body gets older, it has a more difficult time dealing with glucose, glycogen.
Mm-hmm.
So when your body is not burning it and you're getting older and you're still consuming glucose that turns into glycogen, then you have a situation where that will start binding to proteins, binding to different fats, different troubles will arise and start to congest your system. That's what makes the body get stiff and old. And the stiffer a person gets, look at old people walking around. I'm supposed to be an old person. I'm not. I'm a senior citizen in Canada. I'm in my 68th year. I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. And I'm more agile, mobile, flexible. I go, because I learned how to reverse AGES, advanced glycation end product syndrome. So because I reversed it, and in the medical world, it says it's not reversible. That's the other thing they tell you. So don't even bother to try, right? And so then everybody gets older and stiffer and tired, and they eventually die. So here, what we're talking about today is the importance of you, all of you who are listening, to become aware of this being a problem and learning what to do about it. Because we can all point out the problems, but until you get the solution to the problem, what's the point? So it's all about bringing solutions, which is what you are doing, Nicholas. That's what you do.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And why are they saying that it can't be reversed? How can we reverse it?
Well, it's a typical thing. If you go into the medical world, they say you have a disease that's incurable. Therefore, you have to cut it out, or you have to, do this terrible pharmaceutical thing, or you have to do this thing that's going to cause you all kinds of side effects because it's incurable. It's not reversible. It's just the way that it is. So you have to be in that position where you're going to put up with this idea that it's not reversible. But you know that every action has an equal and opposite reaction available. So if you've had a problem, there is a solution. It is reversible. I've actually proven it to be reversible, not only with myself, but with very many people who I advise and give help to because of what I've learned. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people who are learning, not millions, not billions. So the vast majority of the world believes that these things are not reversible. And so what you believe becomes your reality.
Mm.
Once you find out that, hold it, I could definitely reverse age. I was at 46 years old, like an 85-year-old, going to die in 3 years because I had so much congestion and tumor and heart disease and all this garbage, and found out that that could be totally reversed, not by making medical claims or running around the world and claiming some miracle. It was actually on the ground, very deliberate, very action based, very methodical protocols that I followed, and I learned more and more about it, and my body kept reversing it all out until it was all gone completely. By the time I was 50, well, it was 46 is when it really hit. The tumor didn't get gone until I was 53 years old. So it took 7 years. But the heart disease symptoms were gone by the time I was 50, 51. And the liver problem was gone between 51 and 52. So that was just simply following real things, like no weird stuff that is out there, really common sense, obvious things that I was feeding my body incorrectly. I was not treating my body with respect. I was abusing my body without even realizing it was abuse. So if you put stuff in your body that lights a fire and stokes the fire, you're asking for trouble. If you don't know how important it is to have antioxidants, to have hydration, to have detox, and also the mechanical stimulation of the body to release all this advanced glycation end products,
Hmm.
then you're going to just continue to age. And it's a remarkable thing. Even at these anti-aging conferences and these longevity conferences, they're not talking about this stuff. And I don't know why. What's the
Yes.
problem?
You're somebody that's been told, just want to let the viewers know that you had a tumor years ago, which you just mentioned, and you were told that you were going to die. I forgot how many years they told you they were going to die. You were going to die, and here you are. You're doing very well, and you'll keep, you're just learning and learning and learning and sharing this with the viewers, because this is an experience that you went through that was personal, and you wanted to help others because you reversed your symptoms, you reversed the tumor, and you had a brother slightly older than you who was a doctor and did not want to listen to what you had to say to him, unfortunately had passed away. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that was a tragedy because my brother Doug, who was a medical doctor for 30 years, he told me that everything I had was genetically predisposed. There was nothing I could do about it. It was just the hand of cards I was dealt. I would have to go to the doctor to get it fixed. I was going to specialists in Toronto who were just scaring me. And so, anyway, I knew that there were people in the world who had the highest level of natural healing out there. I knew they existed, just like, of course, they exist. But I didn't know how to find them. And so I asked to be led to them. So as I was led to these people, and that was a prayer that was requested very clearly. I'm not demanding it. I'm just asking to be led. And if I'm led to these people who have great knowledge, I will do whatever it takes to fix the problem. If I'm shown something. And so then I started learning a little bit. I learned enough in that next 3 years where I had 3 years left to live. I used that 3 years to get 5 years because I knew that that's the process. You got to use the time wisely, then use the 5 years to get 15 years, use the 15 years to get 50 years because you got more time to learn and more time to act. A lot of people run out. They run out of time and then they die. So my brother saw that happen between 2004 and 2010. And he noticed a big change. He was like, okay, I mean, maybe there's something to it, but really you have no medical proof. You have anecdotal evidence only that what you did worked for you. Is that going to work for someone else? Well, the fact is, I don't know because I didn't do a double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized study. But what I did do is share with people what I'd learned.
Hmm.
They would do those things and they would get various results, some of them very good results. And then he got a glioblastoma multiforme level 4 brain tumor that was diagnosed in January 2011. And prior to that, he had had a seizure in his upper left communication center in November 2010. They did the scans. They couldn't find what the problem was. He was literally shut down in a grand mal seizure, and he was in intensive care for a week in November of 2010. But they couldn't find anything. They assumed it was a virus, a herpes simplex virus that went and seized up the upper left communication center. And it shuts your body down. Anyway, he got over that somewhat. He was having seizures a couple of times a day for 30 seconds, and then that was getting worse. So in January, when he got diagnosed with the tumor, they had to do all the radical stuff. Steroids, get the swelling down, open him up, dig as much as they could out, do 6 weeks of radiation, and then they put him on chemotherapy. He couldn't stand that, so he didn't do it. He just wanted to eat clean, but he died on March 28th, 2011. That it was like within 3 months, less than 3 months of diagnosis, he was dead. And that was a big shock. But it was just the allopathic mindset that believes there's nothing you can do. Now, there are people out there dealing with glioblastoma multiforme level 4 tumors all the time in the natural realm, and they're getting rid of them. It goes away. The vast majority, 99% of people who get that, they go the medical route and they die.
Mm.
And so you got 1% is doing it. Like that's thousands of people, not millions.
Yeah.
And these things are real. But the thing is, we can't go and make claims and say, well, if you do this, this, and this. No, this is not how it works. You look at the body as a holistic unit. And sorry about that.
Okay.
We still here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we look at the body as a holistic unit, and all systems are tied in. So the advanced glycation end product that we are producing more of as we get older. So as you get older, you age even faster. You have to stop that process and turn it around and reverse it back to what you would want to have like a biological age of a 30-year-old. Your chronological age might be 70, but you want a biological age of 30. And you have to be very specific about this stuff. That's why activation focused in on what are the elements that you must have to be hydrated, to detoxify, to have the proper nutrients that are coming in on a daily basis, the must-haves. And so you absolutely have to have perfect iodine. It's a non-negotiable. If you don't have that element, you're deficient. Your body systems are not going to be operating properly. Your body communication is going to be poor. The Solaris, and you and I have talked about these a lot, the Solaris is a super cleanser, but it's very gentle. And it goes in and removes these advanced glycation end products very efficiently. So now your body can get rid of them before they do the damage because those things will bind to proteins, bind to fats, and go in and cause plaque buildup and congestion.
Hmm.
Right? Then you have the Oceans Alive Restore. You put to your water, that's going to give you hydration. So you have good electrolytic fluid. And we also have the activator. Now, you and I have not really talked a lot about the activator, but you're familiar with the little slapping device, right? That
Yes.
decongests your body. All right. So what that does, that moves interstitial fluid. It moves lymphatic fluid. it moves microcirculation, and it releases the advanced glycation end products that are trapped in your system. That's why it shows up in a dark color, because these are toxic materials. And so it goes all dark when you do it, and then it drains out of your body.
Hmm.
And then when you go back and do that same area again, a year later, 5 years later, it doesn't go dark, nothing happens because it's permanently removed. So you've been building these advanced advanced glycation end products through your whole life. And as you get older and older, as soon as you're past 21, you're starting to build it more and more. And you're going to get an accumulation of these things. So the whole deal is you've got to rid your body of that accumulation amount. And you got to get back to a nice, youthful age, get all the stiffness, all the soreness out of your body. You have to have the transdermal magnesiums, right? The ease magnesium going into your skin every single day to keep everything supple and elastic. Because if you lose your elasticity, you start to stiffen and age and wrinkle up and all the things that happen. So we're just finally getting to the apex, the zenith of these understandings, so that now we can share this amongst ourselves and everyone can de-age their body rapidly, which is worth more than all the money in the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think your biggest favorite ones, and we've discussed this before, is the Solaris, iodine, and magnesium. You say to me that is the go-to. That is the three that you should be taking, irrespective of your health. If you want your mitochondria to be working at its best, is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, though that's your trifecta. And when you add in the Ocean's Live Restore, you're getting the hydration factors, you're getting the electrolytes.
Hmm.
So we're putting bundles together, but I really want people to educate themselves. It's you're educating yourself all the time. I'm educating myself all the time. You, the listener, are educating yourself all the time. That's why you're listening to this video. That's why you subscribe to Nicholas's channel, because you want to know what is true, what is real, and what you can do about your situation to improve the world you live in and improve the world around you and the people around you. Because it may seem altruistic, but we're actually here to make the world a better place. And the one thing that matters more than anything else is how much do we actually care about everything? Because people, they start to not care. Oh, I don't care. I don't give a crap anymore. They say, hold it. What are you talking about? We care intensely and immensely. Caring is really the thing. Look at the health care industry. They can't care. They're overwhelmed.
They sick
You
care.
come in there, you go, right? You go to the hospital, it's sick care, but they can't care. They literally don't have time to care. They're overwhelmed.
Hmm.
There's too much disease. There's there's people just give up and they tell you there's nothing we can do anyway. You're basically going to go into hospice, palliative care, and you're going to die.
Mm.
And we're going to make your death as comfortable as we can. And in Canada, they'll say, oh, by the way, we have the MAID program. If you'd like to die tomorrow, we can arrange that. It's like, okay,
Mm.
this is where people are at.
Yeah.
And we're not there. You're not there. We are increasing the amount we care every single day going forward in the future.
Absolutely. I think with the viewers, in respect, I think that there's been a lot of interest in what you're doing and what you're sharing, and we're helping a lot of people because the viewers that are watching today are obviously looking for truth. They want to take responsibility. They want to take that power, and yeah, we want to say that's great because our consciousness and the collective that's looking for truth, that's wanting to be still and present, is making a very big impact on an energetic level. And I want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you as well, Nicholas, for sharing. And everyone listening, I want to thank you because you're the ones who are actually out there making the world a better place by improving your own life, improving your quality of life, improving your physical health. And that ties into your mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And it also goes the other direction. So when you're awakened and you know, oh wow, this we've been lied to on a lot of levels. We just want to know the truth. I'm not going to go and worry about who lied to me.
Yeah.
I just want to know the truth. And if I've repeated something that was not true, that made me a liar. I didn't intend to. I was just misinformed. So if I've said something that was incorrect because I was taught wrong, and that's what the whole world is full of, is a whole bunch of incorrect teaching, a whole bunch of incorrect beliefs, and then people repeat it and then they manifest it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just like we saw back in 2020 to 2023, the mainstream was telling you, hey, there's this, and this. And then everybody believed it, everybody got afraid, and then people started dying, literally dying from it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's like super mind control. Whoever controls your mind controls your body. So be very careful to be remaining in control of your mind.
I want to talk to you. I don't know if you've heard recently about the uh, the vaccine companies. Um, and I just want to say, I'm not making any claims, um, but the vaccine companies are now putting a black box label onto, uh, the shots. Um, what do you think about that?
Well, it's the age old problem from the very beginning was that they had to pass a law that would not allow any pharmaceutical company to be litigated in the event of an injury from any of those vaccines. Once they had that legislation passed, they could then amp up the amount of vaccines.
Mhm.
To what went from like 3 or 4 to what 75 vaccines for kids. I don't know. I don't track that really close. But the
Yeah,
whole the non-disclosure of the ingredients in something, or they can put something in there that they do not tell you, that is violating the highest laws of the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission in the United States and Canada. All of our products have to be exactly detailing exactly what's in that product. And we cannot have any non-disclosure whatsoever, or we would be litigated immediately. Because how dare I sell you something that I didn't tell was in it?
absolutely.
So,
Obviously, we're not making any claims. We're not saying, this is for you to decide, the viewers for to decide. This is freedom. This is, we're just exploring what we've heard. And I'm saying this just as a disclaimer because we want to stay on YouTube and we want to make sure that we have access to the viewers on YouTube to collapse the grid within. Um, Now discreetly, Ian, um, people that are watching today and they've got the thing that we've just been talking about in their bodies and they want to take it out. There are ways. Um, what do you advise and what do you have that you have learnt through experience that from your research and from all the data and from all your experiments that you've done? What is it that we could give to the view or we could offer to the viewers today that want to remove that thing that they put in their body?
right. Well, that's the technology that's been put into the body, very high tech stuff. And it has to do with metals. It has to do with various different whatevers. Okay. I don't want to get too deep into that.
Sure.
But Solaris, number one, absolutely number one across the board. That's going to go in and and convert all of that material into inert matter because it's non-human. That's the beautiful thing about the rosemary, clove, and thyme in the emulsion. And I'll tell you how I know this. Well, not only have I seen it help so many people since the last few years, but we had it. I gave a bottle, a sample. This is going back a while. This is back in 2016. I gave a sample bottle to a skincare high-tech operation in Texas. They were using a very special ultrasound with an ultrasound gel that they were applying to the skin to remove wrinkles. And the ultrasound was helping the skin rejuvenate. Well, they found out that Solaris also is a very powerful skincare product. I never told them to put it in the gel. I just said, hey, you can use this to cleanse the face. You can dilute it down and massage it in. It does miraculous stuff there. But they took it and put it in the gel. And a month later, I got a call, a very angry call, telling me that I owed them $15,000 to replace the medical steel grade head on their ultrasound machine that had been working for several years. And within 1 month, when they put the Solaris in the gel, it had torn off the face of the stainless steel medical grade head. And I said, why would you put that in there? You cannot have Solaris anywhere near metal. It will dissolve it. They're like, how can it dissolve it? It's rosemary, clove, and thyme. Don't ask me to explain the chemical reaction, but it does. It goes in and it dissolves it into inert matter, and it ruined their head. And I did not pay them the $15,000. It was not my fault. I did not damage it. I never told them they were to do that. They never told me they were doing that. Anyway, that was the end of our friendship at that time because they were quite excited at the time and they never got back to me. So that's when I realized, okay, interesting. But it goes in, and we've had women who have taken it, and they say they were urinating, look like rust out of their body. In the detox, they didn't feel sick, they didn't feel unwell, they weren't having a Herxheimer or anything like that, no healing crisis, but it was removing things out of the body very efficiently. So there's definitely something to the Solaris when it comes to getting this high tech stuff out of the system, and plus it has multiple other health benefits in the body.
So Solaris, right? Excellent. Well, Ian, thank you very much for sharing that with us today. I'm going to leave the link below in the description so the viewers have access to Solaris, iodine, magnesium, and so much more. But thank you, because I love what you're sharing, because you come from, from experience. You were told that you were going to die. You had a tumor. You didn't listen to the doctors, the professionals. You didn't listen to your brother, who was a professional doctor. Sadly, he passed away, which was a trauma, very traumatic for all of you, which I'm very sorry to hear. But you've come so far with all this knowledge and all this research, and you've lived it yourself, and you're helping so many people. And I've spoken and read so many people, and they're very happy with everything. And I've been reading the comments, and it's great. I think you're doing wonderful work. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Well, I think, just continue to encourage yourself, build your enthusiasm, get more alive than you are already, and just keep doing that every single day. Rinse and repeat, and really take care of yourselves and make it a very great life going forward.
Absolutely. Well, you take care and have a wonderful Christmas and New Year to you, Ian. And we'll speak again very soon. You take care. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you, Nicholas. Bye-bye.